Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's patch day today, or at least a minor patch is going live. Right now on the servers you can download a 1.5 gig update or thereabouts. Massive have issued this patch to correct a number of things, and I'm going to be talking you through those patch notes very briefly now, because I'm sure the number one question that you have is the G36 Nerf that bad? Is this weapon still usable? So I don't want to leave you in suspense. Let's talk about that first. So the G36 has copped a 15% reduction to its base damage, right? So is this weapon still good? Well, yes, it's still very good, okay? It's actually still the very best assault rifle in the game. It actually eclipses the AK-47 in terms of its raw base damage output. However, the benefit of the G36 is that it really handles beautifully. Like, it's just got tremendous accuracy and stability. So there is no way that I would ever use an AK-47 or a 74, because they're just way less stable. And similarly, the SCAR is the next step down from that, and it actually has less optimal range, and it has less base damage and these sorts of things. So overall, the G36 is still a very worthwhile weapon, and it's definitely still one of the best automatic weapons in the game. The other thing that you should think about though is an L86 LMG. I'm going to talk a little bit about this later. I've already done a video on the L86 and why it's so good, but essentially its base damage, its reload speed, and a whole bunch of other stuff combined with the new 30% bonus damage to targets out of cover actually make it probably the best non-SMG automatic weapon in the game. Because obviously when we're talking about PvP, the bonus armor damage that is applied by assault rifles doesn't apply to those targets. So if you want my advice and you want to be rocking around with 2 automatic weapons in the dark zone, have your SMG for like really hard damage when you're up close to the target, and then have an L86 in your back pocket for when your target's a little bit further away, and you're going to be the best place that you can be. So long story short, the G36 Nerf, it hit really hard. I agree it sucks in the sense that I'm definitely of a view that enemies are a little bit too bullet spongy at the moment. There's no question about that. So I think it's a fairly poorly timed nerf. However, the fact is this gun was such a statistical outlier that it was the only one that was worth using. It was the only game in town, you know? So while I think that we did need to bring some balance to the weapons, I do think that what we actually really needed to do was nerf overall mob health to make things a little bit easier for us, because right now things are just very badly tuned. Moving right along, other changes that we see fixed a bug where named weapons could not have their talents recalibrated. Yep, that sucked. It was really annoying, particularly those of you that grinded a showstopper and wanted to re-roll some of the talents. You can now hopefully re-roll your all named weapon talents. Fixed a bug where the mega map would not open for some players. I have received literally hundreds of messages and tweets and comments about this. It's really been quite game breaking for a number of people. Really disappointing that went in the first place, but you know, thankfully, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's been fixed in this update. Fixed a bug where the Alpha Bridge gloves could miss some of their attributes, or in fact, they could actually sometimes roll 2 attributes, so that was completely bugged. So basically now, if you had a pair of Alpha Bridge gloves that had no attributes or 2 attributes, that will be retrospectively changed, and they should now have 1 attribute on them. Fixed a bug where recalibrating the last talent on the PP19 submachine gun would not yield a free talent. So if anyone tried to re-roll the hurried talent on a PP19, sometimes you would find that the replacement talent would still require for you to meet the requirements of that talent. You still need to have the stats behind it. So again, fingers crossed, that has been corrected. Fixed a bug where the Sentry gear bonus stat was, or that stacking damage bonus was being applied by the Showstopper, which is an automatic shotgun. Now, I actually think this is a shame. When I reviewed the Showstopper, I said this is a really fun weapon to use, but its damage numbers are tuned way too low. And the only thing that was really propping this thing up at the moment was the fact that you could use it with Sentry's Call. So the fact that Sentry's no longer proc Showstopper because Showstopper is an automatic shotgun, that means that this gun is even less useful. So just to be super clear, shotguns will still proc Sentry's Call. That still is the same. It's just that the Showstopper won't, because it's the only automatic shotgunner. So quite a shame, but that is what it is. That's the decision they've chosen to go down. Fixed a bug where weapon talents could stack indefinitely while using the Alpha Bridge gear set 4-piece bonus. So this was another issue where people were just basically chopping and changing their weapons while wearing Alpha Bridge, and for whatever reason, they would just retain all of those weapon talent bonuses and would just get ridiculous stats. Made those people quite overpowered, and luckily this has now been fixed because no one wants to go up against that sort of player in the Dark Zone. Fixed a bug where recalibrating weapon talents would yield a random bonus instead of the one selected by the UI. Now, I've actually had this happen to me myself, and I've also had it happen to me on gear recalibration as well. So hopefully this is fixed, because yeah, it is obviously a big pain in the ass. And the final one, which is I think very, very important, is fixed a bug where PC players would be able to use multiple consumables at the same time while using the Reclaimer set. Now, obviously, the Reclaimer set was stupidly overpowered in PvP. Everyone was running around on PC with maxed out like every consumable you could have all at once, which means you were constantly be getting hit by incendiary and explosive rounds at the same time. No fun at all, and disruptive ammo as well, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, basically, thank God this has been fixed. It was really game breaking, very, very unpleasant in the Dark Zone, but it does make things a little bit harder in the Underground if any of you are using that in the Underground. So guys, that's those are the changes. As I said, the big headline item here is the G36. It's copped that 15% nerf, which brings it in line with other weapons. But as I've said, I think that we need as much power as we can get at the moment to break through the enemies and the way that they are currently tuned. So I think that while I understand why this nerf has occurred, I do think that it should have been accompanied with some sort of adjustment with mob health at the same time to make life a little bit easier. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Tonight, I believe the Heroic Heroic Dragon's Nest should be released, which is pretty interesting. So we'll have to see how that one works and how that is tuned. And later on in the week, I'll be providing you with some more information on the PP19 submachine gun, a bit of a detailed review on that if you're interested. And I'll also, hopefully, if I get time, be having a look at the overall assault rifle weapon class now. As I said, the G36 is the best. That's a spoiler alert. But I just want to kind of spell that out for you, give you an idea of how to properly mod a G36, compare it to some of the other weapons, compare it to your LMG options, as I briefly mentioned, and just have a chat about those sort of things. And also this weekend, I'm also going to be doing a very detailed Reaper guide. So if anyone plays Overwatch and they are looking for that sort of information, check that out, because I'm going to be doing some Overwatch videos going forward. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Looking forward to seeing how these changes work out. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed Dragon's Nest Heroic Mode, if that's something you're keen on. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the Dark Zone. Bye-bye.